The alien daughter was admitted to school. The next day, her mother arrives with a strange gift. In a quiet human district, history is made when an alien noblewoman's daughter is admitted into a school for the very first time. At first, whispers of doubt and suspicion fill the halls. But the next day, her mother arrives, with a gift unlike anything humanity has ever seen. What follows is a story of trust, memory, and the strange reward that changes everything. The school on the edge of New Avalon District looked the same as it always did, rows of steel-gray walls softened by gardens, with solar panels gleaming in the morning sun. To most, it was an ordinary place where human children learned arithmetic, history, and the stories of their species' hard-won survival. But today, the school was not ordinary. Today, history walked through its gates. Lyara stepped hesitantly into the courtyard, her slender form cloaked in a simple robe of soft blue fabric. To human eyes, she looked almost delicate, long limbs, pale silver skin that seemed to shimmer faintly, and eyes deep as polished onyx. She was the daughter of Lady Theron of House Kinvara, one of the wealthiest and most powerful figures in the Kinvari Dominion. Her admission into a human school was unprecedented. Until now, alien children had always been educated among their own kind, their traditions guarded and insular. But Lyara's mother had insisted, if her daughter was to grow in a galaxy shared with humans, she must learn among them. The other children whispered as she passed. Some were curious, some were nervous, and a few were suspicious. Lyara kept her gaze lowered, clutching her satchel tightly. Mr. Callahan, the teacher, smiled warmly as he guided her to her seat. Everyone, this is Lyara. She'll be joining our class from today. Let's make her feel welcome. A few children offered hesitant smiles. One boy raised his hand. Sir, is she safe? The class chuckled nervously, but Mr. Callahan's tone remained steady. Safer than most of us. Now, open your readers to page 12. Lyara sat quietly, her heart pounding. She had faced more than a classroom's whispers before. Still, being here, surrounded by humans, felt like stepping into another world. News traveled quickly across New Avalon. By midday, stories of the alien noble's daughter had spread beyond the school. Some parents frowned at the idea. Others were intrigued, even hopeful. Humanity had fought wars with alien species, forged uneasy alliances, and brokered fragile truces. But never before had one of them sat in a human classroom, learning the same lessons, sharing the same space. That night, children rushed home with tales of Lyara's shimmering skin, her strange accent, her polite bows. Some imitated her voice, others exaggerated her movements. And in the heart of the city, Lady Theron heard every word. Lady Theron was unlike any figure the humans of New Avalon had seen. Tall and statuesque, adorned in garments woven with metallic threads that shimmered with their own light, she carried herself with the confidence of one who had commanded courts and markets alike. Her wealth was legendary, her power formidable. Yet, she was also a mother. And when she heard the whispers about her daughter, she knew what must be done. In her culture, the acceptance of a child into a new circle of learning was honored with a gift, a reward not for the child alone, but for the community that welcomed them. She would bring such a reward. Not gold, not jewels, but something far greater. The next morning, the schoolyard buzzed with chatter as students gathered for assembly. Then, without warning, the sky above them shimmered. A ship descended, graceful, silent, unlike any human craft. Its hull unfolded like a blooming flower, silver panels glistening in the sunlight, edges glowing faintly with power. Children gasped, teachers froze, and parents rushed from the gates. When the vessel touched down, it did not thunder or shake the ground. It simply rested, as though the earth itself had agreed to hold it gently. From within, Lady Theron emerged. She was breathtaking, tall, robed in flowing garments that shifted colors like liquid fire, her jewelry glowing faintly with crystalline light. Her very presence silenced the crowd. At her side floated a container of silver and glass, humming softly. Within it pulsed light, alive and mysterious. Lady Theron entered the assembly hall, her every movement commanding attention. Teachers bowed awkwardly, unsure of the proper etiquette. Parents whispered nervously. She stood before them all, her voice resonant and melodic, carrying without strain. "My daughter, Lyara, has been admitted into your school. Among my people, such a moment is honored. Not with words alone, but with gifts. A gift not for her, but for you, for all who have welcomed her." She lifted the container, setting it upon the central table. With a soft sigh, it unfolded, revealing a cluster of glowing crystals that sang faintly in harmony, their light spilling across the hall. "These are seraph crystals," she explained. "They are not wealth, nor weapons. They are memories. Living repositories of experience, shaped by touch. Each holds the songs, the stories, the wisdom of my people. To share them is to share our lives." Gasps echoed through the hall. Mr. Callahan, hesitant, reached out and brushed his fingers against a crystal. His eyes widened. In that instant, he saw and heard the laughter of alien children under twin suns, the chants of 1,000 voices in ancient rituals, the soaring view of crystal spires against a violet sky. He stumbled back, breathless. It's like stepping into another world." The children surged forward, curiosity overpowering their fear. One by one, they touched the crystals. They saw alien markets alive with colors no human pigment could capture, felt the warmth of alien hearths, and heard lullabies sung in tones that vibrated through their bones. Some teachers wept quietly, overwhelmed by the beauty of what they witnessed. Parents whispered among themselves, suspicion tempered by wonder. The children, however, were transformed. To them, Lyara was no longer a stranger. She was a doorway to stories and worlds they could now glimpse for themselves. Lady Theron watched it all with calm satisfaction. "This is my gift," she declared. "Knowledge. Memory. Understanding. If my daughter is to learn among your children, then let your children learn of us. Only by sharing memory can we build trust. Only by sharing stories can we build peace." Her words hung in the air, undeniable. After the assembly, students clustered around Lyara, their questions spilling over one another. "What's it like to fly in your ships? Do your people really sing to their crystals? Can you show us more?" Lyara's shyness melted into laughter. For the first time, she felt less like an outsider and more like one of them. She answered as best she could, her voice light and warm. Mr. Callahan approached Lady Theron, bowing awkwardly. This is more than we expected." Lady Theron inclined her head. "You opened your doors to my daughter. I open my world to yours. That is how bonds are forged." By week's end, the seraph crystals had become a fixture of the school. Children used them during lessons, weaving alien knowledge into human history. Parents who had once doubted now came to watch, curious themselves. And Lyara? She was no longer the alien daughter. She was simply Lyara, student, friend, bridge between worlds. Her mother's strange reward had done what treaties and councils could not. It made two peoples see each other not as strangers, but as families. When Lady Theron's ship rose again into the sky, she left behind no riches, no weapons, no grand promises. She left behind something far stronger. Stories. Memories. Hope. And in that school on the edge of New Avalon District, the first true seeds of a shared future quietly took root. The alien daughter was no longer an outsider, she was a bridge between two worlds. And her mother's strange reward was more than a gift, it was a promise of understanding, a spark of hope that humanity and the stars could share more than fear. If you enjoyed this HFY sci-fi short story, remember, sometimes the greatest power we have is the ability to learn from one another.